Hey guys, it's Kaylin. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about how to create a budget. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I would greatly appreciate it. So creating a budget and knowing by the penny what you're spending every month is so important in being able to propel yourself forward and save more money to buy more real estate or put more money in the stock market or do whatever it is you're trying to save up for. So the first thing you need to do is, if you've never created a budget before, I highly recommend going and downloading an app called Mint, or you can even download the Dave Ramsey app. Super easy to follow his steps online and be able to set up a budget to see what you're spending monthly on average. I personally review my budget at the end of every month. So on the first of every month, I go look at all my expenses and all my income and review it, and I'll go over step by step how I do that. So first, I set an estimated target for how much money I think I'm going to make that month. Because I'm self-employed, I don't know how much money exactly every month I'm going to make. So I take an educated guess and think about how much money I think I'm going to make that month. Then I go look at all my expenses. Most of my expenses are the same every month. There's a few things that change a little, such as food, groceries, entertainment, fun things, vacations, Christmas. So personally, what I do first is set up all my line items. It's about 30 to 40 different line items because I have business expenses as well as personal expenses. So I line all those up with my estimated amount of what I think I'm going to spend that month in each of those categories. Then on the first of every month, I just go enter what it is that I did spend that month, and then I can go set up a third column that shows me the difference between each of those line items. But what's super helpful with the app Mint is you can set it up so that when you're getting close to your budget on those certain categories, it'll send you notifications saying, hey, you're 75% of the way there and we're only a week through the first of the month. So you need to slow down on ice cream or on movies or whatever it may be that you have a problem with. A lot of online banking apps also allow this now, where you can set up a budget to tell you when you're getting close to your spending limit on certain categories as well. So once you get through the first month of tracking and you see that you're spending way too much money eating out, or way too much money on Starbucks, or way too much money going to bars, then it's really important to track the next 3 months and be super diligent about your spending so you can get an average of what you spend over the next 3 months versus just 1 month. Gives you a better idea of your average amount that you typically spend on things such as groceries. I know some months I spend close to $400 and some months I spend closer to $250 if I'm really being careful about it. I cannot stress how important it is to understand these numbers, because once you understand these numbers, you know where you can cut your expenses. So the very first thing I do when I'm setting up my budget is set aside how much I want to pay myself every month. I have a budget for how much I want to put in my IRA, how much I eventually want to put into my life insurance. It's just important to be able to pay yourself first, because if you don't, it's going to go to your other expenses that you may not necessarily need to take care of. Something else I really recommend is when you figure out how much you want to set aside from your paycheck every month, or whatever amount it is that you want, whether it's $1 a day, $50 a week, however much it is for you, it's super important to put that in an account that you can't touch. I found it really helpful that when I started saving money, I put it into a separate savings account when I went into the bank, and I told them that I don't want to be able to withdraw money from this account unless I come in and take the money out. So every time I actually need the money and I have to go into the bank account or into the bank and think about taking that money out, it makes me think twice about spending money, because now instead of just being able with a simple click to transfer money from my savings to my checking, I actually have to go into the bank and tell them I want to withdraw money. Another tool I found super helpful for budgeting is there's a lot of expenses that you have over a year and you don't realize that when you're paying a large expense, let's say you paid something that was $1,000, that really comes out to like $80 a month. So it's something that you can track over a year-long time period instead of just a month. For example, I tend to spend a lot of money on Christmas presents. I know that I typically spend about $2,000 on Christmas. So what I do is I budget that out every month. So I think that comes out to like $140 a month on Christmas. Now I know most months I'm not buying Christmas presents in January and February, but I have that in my budget so that I'm not hurting when come Christmas time I have $2,000 go out the door. Once you have your current budget in mind, it's really important to go look at your 3 years from now budget and your budget 5 years from now, so you know what you want to be working towards. For example, like maybe you want to have kids 3 years from now. Maybe you want to get married 5 years from now. Maybe you want to plan more vacations 5 years from now. So if you can go ahead and set that in your budget now and pace it out for the future, you're going to be a lot better off and not feel so tight and stressed on money when that time comes. So again, I can't even express how important it is to go ahead and set up a budget and how big of a difference it's made for me. And every month going and reviewing my budget always kind of shocks me one way or another, where when I do really well in my budget or I go completely over, it's always really just good to look at and nice to know exactly what I need to be spending and have that in mind every time I go swipe that credit card, that I know that it's going out of a certain category and I'm getting close to my spending limit on that category. Because if you don't know where your money's going, you'll never be able to save up and do the things you really want to do. So if you need help, feel free to message me or reach out. I love looking at budgets, love helping people cut expenses and figure out how they can save more money to put themselves in a better position in life. Thanks, guys.